the average customer journey consists of like 50 clicks of different pages, dates, rooms, etc., etc. And this is the core difference, how to identify among all that 30, 50 clicks, what is the real point of interest. Because you can have different rates, you can have different offers, you can have different specific bundles, especially for resorts. And if you don't know what is the intent, you perceive all your visitors like the same people.
In hospitality, we all feel it. OTA commissions, changing algorithms, new AI tools, and at the same time, guests expect everything to be personal, frictionless, and inspiring. But the search journey is shifting from Google to, for example, TikTok, from classic ads to creators, and maybe soon to AI agents that book trips for us. The question is, how does a hotel stay in control? Is the real battle now between OTAs and AI, or between attention and intention? Welcome to the Future of Hospitality, and today we're kicking off a new series called Go Direct, a series about the people, strategies and technologies shaping the future of direct bookings. My name is Alon Shkouri, and today I'm talking with Serge Berezhnoy, the founder of InsightArc. Serge helps hotels and travel brands understand real guest intent and act on it, instead of renting attention from OTAs and social platforms. We're going to talk about the new generation of travelers, TikTok as a booking channel, and how AI will change hotel distribution. So, Serge, nice to have you here. Really excited about this episode. So maybe let's just start about a little bit more about you. Can you tell me, I'm kind of curious, how did you start InsightArc? What triggered you to start this?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the warm intro. It's a pleasure to me, to participate in that podcast, because it's really important. The industry really driven by sometimes 20 years old technologies and principles of business. So it's very important to talk about new shifts, especially, the new generations of clients. I mean, Generation Z, how they call it, popular, they become the really economically active customers right now for hospitality. So this is important to discuss. So about me, actually, I'm an ex-corporate guy who just originally built this technology for my company that I ran before. Because before that, I ran like fintech company. And then this AI shift happened. The same AI shift, then OpenAI started build their technology. Then Google released their, these tensors, the technology that actually allows to start all the shift right now in AI. I started, around the same time, because this technology opens a lot of opportunities. And what the story behind the technology, what the story behind the product, I understood, in some day that these deep technological principles that engineers use in their job to build code, to build engineering solutions, to track between service iterations, very similar how customers, real people, engaged with applications, web applications, websites, etc. So I get an idea like, wow, we can use same principle, same technology, just to help people to deliver, to buy better, to receive better experience, to the companies to sell better, more, receive more conversions, etc., etc. So this was like the story of how I started the prototype of the company.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that sounds pretty, first of all, a lot of data, a lot of AI, a lot of technical stuff. So can you maybe take us one step back and let's maybe talk about the shift that we were talking about in the introduction, is that the shift of how people are going to search and how they're searching even right now. So what do you see? Because I know, for example, when I was younger, I talk about like it's 50 years ago, but okay, like 3 years ago, it was just Google. I will Google a trip and, go to booking.com, maybe to other places, and that's it. But what changed?
Yeah, actually, if we speak about like a general attention channel, let's call it in that way, attention channel, yeah, that all the modern generations, actual generations of customers, they shift to mobile first experience, first of all. And the second, they tired from traditional ways to communicate with environment, with news, all that classical TV shows or like even YouTube actually seems a bit obsolete for them. Yeah, because people prefer short forms of content. They prefer very simple videos, and TikTok gives the same. So they did not destroy your brain reading, hearing some smart guys. You just, scroll your line, of news, videos, etc., etc. And the most important part, between among all that videos, smart companies like several years ago already started to implement their content in that or those form of videos. I mean, it could be independent, separate focused videos or natively implemented inside some kind of entertainment content. So this is the most important shift. Then if we speak from perspective of hospitality, most of industry still exists that somebody Googles something, visit websites, open some kind of independent browsers like Google, search, etc. Yahoo, Yahoo, crazy. It's like 20 years ago times, but in reality, the new generations of customers, they literally open TikTok and literally search inside TikTok answers, on their questions about school, about university, job, how to do this, how to cook that, how can I travel, where I can find something interesting in my destination point, for example. So TikTok becoming the number one, really number one attention point, not intention, attention point.
Nice. That's really, and it's also, if I can add something, maybe, I don't know how you see this, but back in the days, you used to think about, okay, I want to go, for example, to Euro Disney Paris. You look for Euro Disney Paris and then you book a hotel that you like or that seems nice or the price is nice. But nowadays, I know, for example, I don't have Instagram, but my wife, she's on Instagram all the time. So it's more that she comes across nice stuff and then we want to go there. But it's not that I want to proactively go there. It's that she comes across content and then we want to go there. So I think that's also kind of shifted, right? That you just come across something nice and it triggers you and then you want to go there.
Yes, definitely. Actually, it's better to highlight some numbers because we just discuss experience. Numbers tells more. Actually, on the last data I saw from the market, if we take several layers of audience on age, the most active part is people from age like 18, 24, if I remember right. They takes around like 73% of that audience they presented on TikTok. 73% of people. If you take like more close to our age with you, like 24 to 33, they presented around like 60% of market share. Later, ages of people, they, obviously they presented in more like smaller numbers. But the most surprising thing, if we take take a look on the most fast developer, fast growing segment inside TikTok, you will discover that people older than 45 years for last 6 years, this is the most active group who grows in 13 times. So people in older categories, they really watch videos and influenced by creators. So that's true. So the more we live, the more people engaged, the more people go into that kind of channels, entertain, short form videos.
True.
Like TikTok.
Yeah, that's really true. I know from my experience, from my own experience, my father is like 72 years old. And once he sent me a video of TikTok and I saw that he has a TikTok account. I'm like, well, how do you have a TikTok account? I don't have a TikTok account, but for sure. But when we talk about TikTok, and for example, I have a hotel. I'm a general manager of a hotel. I guess that a lot of hotels, they don't do a lot on TikTok. It feels like it's a new social media. What do I have to do? Like, how do they have to look about TikTok? Because I think it's very, also even for me, like very far away from me, TikTok.
Yeah, sure. Actually, this is a very broad question, to be honest, because it sounds simple, but in practice, people trying to overcomplicate the solution. Oh, what is the classical principle? How hotels do solve this issue right now? Usually, they go to some kind of big faces, influencers, asking them to create some kind of beautiful advertising style videos. And actually, they paying a lot of money for buying mostly irrelevant audience. Why irrelevant? Because these guys, their audience mostly engaged with that influencer are driven by some kind of entertainment style content. They're not specifically interested in your hotel, your property, or if we speak about general hospitality, your restaurant, for example. That's why they driven by, let's say, more high quality luxury style videos where beautiful girls sell beautiful places in beautiful, context of offers luxury style, actually. And this is the problem, because if you go in that way, you receive a lot of impressions, but results in direct sales about zero, because TikTok is a very personalized style of content. People have perfect recommendations in their TikTok account based on their interest. So if the person living their normal life, usual life, usually they do not receive specific kind of video in their channel. And this is the problem, that the best way, in my opinion, the most economically effective way for the hotel is not going to some kind of expensive guys, but really find some kind of normal, regular creator from your local city, region, sphere. Invite him, change, for example, for room, invite for a hotel party or cocktail party, or pay it like $100 for free video. Not technically free video, because it's for you, it's nothing. Why it's important? Because for that kind of regular creators, they need content. They need cases with hotels. They also interested to work with you. Same time, you wouldn't pay like $5,000 for some kind of big names. So it's win-win. You can create 3, 4, 5 videos from regular influencers, and they perform much better than you can expect from any kind of famous guys. This is the best advice I can for any hotel from the basics.
Yeah, I really agree with that. That's how we are taught about what is marketing, is to make something look nicer than it really is, and to show, woman, like you said, and everything is luxury, and, added this a little bit with Photoshop, and everything is amazing, but it's not real. It's not authentic. And what you said is that when you have a smaller influencers, like the real authentic creators, you can better do 10 times smaller than 1 time big, and nothing happens because it's not authentic and it's not real and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I like a week ago, I had a chat with a startup Portugal company who specifically helps Portuguese restaurants in low season to book empty tables, and they just exchange these empty tables on review from local influencers. And the main concerns all the hotel owners, the restaurant owners, told them, like, how this regular guy or girl can create some specific selling video for me if they don't have professional cameras, light, all the things. Some kind of guy from India coming in Dubai restaurant and create on usual basic phone video. And surprisingly, it works much better because these people, like that guy, they watch his videos. So it's proved it works much better, than any.
Yeah, that's amazing how that. I know from my experience that when it looks too good, it looks like an advertisement. And when it looks like an ad, then you don't look at it. So your brain knows how to skip it because you think this is an ad. But when it looks kind of shit, to call it like this. It isn't shit, but it looks too authentic. Then you think, what is this? Then you look at it, and I know that a lot of viral videos on Instagram, TikTok, and that kind of stuff, they are the videos that people even made. They took their iPhone, they made a video, they did it without even thinking too much, and those went viral, got a lot of views and a lot of stuff. So that's super nice. Now I know that you talk about intention versus attention. Can you maybe explain a little bit what is the difference here? Because, there's kind of a mindset about this, I'm pretty sure. How to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. Actually, it's the same. From one perspective, it's very simple. Yeah, attention, it's what you to show the person or the visitor. Intention is answering the question why person came to your website. This is a huge difference from commercial perspective. How stand behind how you can turn your campaigns, social media campaigns into sales engine, because it's no matter what to show, the matter why to show some specific content to a very specific person. Because if you take, any complex website, from, for a glance, it looks like the person visits it just because to book the room, for example. But in reality, every specific visit has some kind of context behind that. For example, a person could be a business traveler, and the context like business visit because of conference in the same location. Or the person could be just an entertainment traveler, blah, blah, blah. And this is absolutely different reason to visit. So you should have absolutely different content for that. And you position this person differently. This is what gives you conversions. This is what gives you personalization. Because, last 3 years probably, from D2C brands to hospitality, everybody talks about we need to go to personalization. But people in reality can't understand that personalization do not start from using like name or some generic things or more emails to the person inbox. Personalization is about reducing contact rate, but making this contact rate the maximum quality for that specific cohort of visitors. This is the difference between intent and intention and attention, actually.
Yeah, amazing.
My technology, this is I'm working about, to help hotels to discover intents and build cohorts, profiles around these intents.
So what kind of intent can you see? I'm pretty curious. Like, what can you see? For example, can you see this is a business profile, this is a local, what can you see? What kind of intents are there?
Actually, it depends on the specific hotel or hotel group property or hospitality experience, because every visitor, if you represent, just a broad explanation probably, but I will try to explain it easy, if you imagine that every person visits the website, the visitor makes a lot of actions. Usually, like the average customer journey consists of like 50 clicks of different pages, dates, rooms, etc., etc. And this is the core difference: how to identify among all that 30, 50 clicks, what is the real point of interest? Because you can have different rates, you can have different offers, you can have different specific bundles, especially for resorts. And if you don't know what is the intent, you perceive all your visitors like the same people. Yeah, this is the core difference. So we identify what is the specific intent based on first-party data of the website and help hotels to own that data, splitting, the general flow on the website on that micro segments to help personalize experience through social media channel.
Wow, that's really nice. That the context makes all the difference. That's real personalization. It's like, for example, I'm from Israel. I eat kosher. So when I go to and I see restaurants all about non-kosher, for example, non-kosher food, but if they show me we have kosher meals, they got me. They got me straight away. This is just a really specific example, but I know that I used to work in online gaming industry, and I know that gaming companies, they are amazing at this, what you say right now, to know exactly if this guy likes to play slots, likes to play roulette, likes to play whatever it is, and they know to segment it in niches and sub niches and sub niches to make the advertisements more relevant. That's it, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah, definitely. You show the example of the most advanced industry, I suppose, in personalization, because I talk with a couple of gaming companies, and they have around like 600 segments at the same time. It's crazy engines, but mostly it's like artificially driven, not by AI, because they know these rules and they know the psychology behind the purchase process of that people. In AI age, it helps to own very similar approach to the any average company. This is the point. It's a great example, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And that's really nice because you can go deep and deeper and deeper, and to maximize one conversion is always a lot of money. But what you say, because a lot of hotels don't do anything. So if you only segment, for example, what you said, this is a business guy, this is a leisure guy. If you only do that, you will see conversions, I don't know, X amount higher. So even if you do a little bit, it can make a big difference. And of course you can tweak and tune it, as you can say, with AI, makes it even more easy, right?
Yep, absolutely. And there is another important point that a bit styling of travel a bit changed, because hotels right now, then especially when we talk about the direct bookings, very similar to D2C brands in terms of approach to sales. Because if you especially go into social media, it's like e-commerce style of sales. And the specifics of the business right now, that every business has a very short demand window. If on the previous years, even like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people operate by windows like a week, 2 weeks of, then you buy audience from some kind of audience or advertising company. They usually deliver you audience 2 years, 2 weeks ago, because they collect this general search interest from Google, from the search engines, and sell you a list of people who probably buy your product. Right now, people think by like day demand window. If you reconnect person in a week, you already lost person. So this is important to identify person in real time and engage as soon as you can.
That's really important. I really believe in that you have to be, like you said, now, because and the faster you do it, if you do it the day after, it doesn't make, I myself, I also feel that. Because like you said, the memory, it's like shorter. Your cache is just for 1-2 days, and then you delete it and you start like over again. And really believe that. And if we talk about, because I know that a lot of people also on LinkedIn, I see it, and I know myself, I got also triggered by it, that people are kind of afraid that AI will take over everything and everybody will search into AI. And if my hotel isn't findable in AI, then my hotel won't exist, and I don't need a website anymore because everything is via ChatGPT, and they will book via ChatGPT. So how do you look at that side? Because when you hear it, it's kind of scary. Like, why do I need a website? And then you say like, in a year, everything is changed.
Great question, actually. Yeah, because the world right now split it on doomers, AI doomers and progressive part of society. I mean, just like 100 years ago with electricity or steam machines. I think actually it's a bit exaggeration that AI. Very quickly AI chats will take demand, because if you take on real data, actually I prefer to use the statistics, the experts from the market. One of famous experts like Ben Evans was a Sequoia analyst, a venture capital firm, who was responsible for all that reports starting from like 90s, who provide reports around like software eats the world. He changed his report on AI eats the world. And in fact, that what we see, that split between generation of people like 35 or 45, like active economical split of society, and who below that age, like early generations, the next upcoming generations of economical active customers, the usability by them, the ChatGPT, absolutely the same. So the next generation of customers, they don't use ChatGPT more often. They don't use Google search more often. It's absolutely equal splits of search. But what I really believe from like a practical perspective, technological perspective, that bigger brands, they have a really unique opportunity to seize this channel just because they have more two important factors that will help on their, to seize this channel for them. First of all, they have a lot of property coverage that follows by a lot of internet requests. I mean, search requests, ChatGPT requests, because the logic of how to make your hotel property show more often or ChatGPT answers, you should have two things. ChatGPT is very, let's say, intent-driven, taking the 5 minutes back to our chat, driven. So ChatGPT trying to deliver response on very specific question of the visitor, of user. So you should have, first of all, very detailed explanation on your website about that specific user request. This is the first factor. And the second factor, you should have enough questions, requests from ChatGPT users addressed this specific intent. So the average property has no such high frequency requests and very detailed explanation in their blog post, any kind of data across the internet. So big companies, big brands, I mean, mostly obviously OTA aggregators, they have this kind of marketplaces, they can manage it. All other guys, I think for them, it's not the game because it's quite difficult for independent property or even hospitality management company to run this campaign because it's some kind of a lot of artificial job should be done to promote your specific hotels in specific locations relevant to specific audience. So I understand there is a bit strategy. For example, if your hotels connected deeply with some kind of specific magnets of publicity, for example, you provide locations or accommodation for marathon runners in Boston, for example. Yeah. So a lot of guys research, find me hotel near the marathon in Boston, blah, 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 blah. You can play around that topic. But for most of hotels, if you don't run specific locations connected to some kind of big events, it's quite difficult for you to reach enough number of outside requests to your property to search on higher rates, in that list.
I know what you mean. Because the requests are low amount of requests.
Yeah. So OTA can take display, in your location because you should compete with hundreds of property in your specific locations. That's why actually social media, this is a unique channel for hotel because OTAs can't compete with you because it's very personalized channel. They can't buy demand how they traditionally buy, on Google, paid channels, meta search, etc. That's why the hotels should play in that game. This is the strategic leverage for them.
Yeah, really, because that's the real differentiator.
Yeah,
what you say, right? Yeah, nice. I also read that, for example, GPT and all other AI companies, they take data from, for example, Reddit, and they take it from, authentic conversations. Not like, you tell GPT, make a blog, and then he makes a blog, and then you put it on the website, and then he takes the blog that he made. That's like, he doesn't need to crawl his own data, but you posted it. But so I think also the more authentic conversations are, for example, reviews, I think that are becoming really important because I think that AI will scrape, for example, the last reviews on, TripAdvisor, Google, that people talk about your hotel. So I think that also, I think that hoteliers, my 2 cents, they need, first of all, to understand just a little bit to understand how it works. Because when you know a little bit how it works, then you can take better steps into your strategic alignments.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned a very perfect example how the search of any language model works, because you mentioned like social driven platforms like Reddit or TripAdvisor. And by the way, very few people, probably not a few people, do not think about Google Maps, because do you know that Gemini, like Google product, driven by reviews on Google Maps. So the hotel should own that reviews of their customers. So
That's huge.
yeah.
Wow.
So TripAdvisor, Google Maps, social media GC. Just ask your visitor, guy, please record 15 seconds video for us. For we give you like some kind of voucher, for example. It works much better because it would be immediately searched, by any kind of engine. This is what
Nice.
hotels really can manage.
Wow, that's amazing. That's what you said with Gemini is from Google. So Google Maps, so they are searching in that machine,
Yeah,
that engine.
absolutely.
That's yeah, amazing. Nice. And what about if you take another step forward? Because I know that AI agents, that's kind of the future, what I believe as well. Of course, and I don't know in what sense, but how will it work if, for example, yeah, you tell the agent, I want a trip. I have a family. For example, my GPT, he knows my kids, my wife, he knows everything about what I like, what I don't like. He knows everything. So I just can tell him in the future, maybe, look at a nice hotel for me. Give me some options. Yeah, I don't know, in Italy. And then he will look and maybe he will even book it for me. So how do you think that will affect the whole shift in regards to, because they can also book it. I don't know if I would make an agent book for me if I didn't even look at it, but I'm pretty sure that the research part, they can skip a lot for me.
Actually, you raising the question contains of two big trends on the industry. Yeah. First of all, a lot of venture capital firms believe that we live in a epoch of personalized experience around where a company creates. Oh, sorry, not company. A person creates the family level or personal level software which knows all the context, knows all the experience of that person without purchasing generic video or generic application from the app store or something like that. From another side, obviously, all that applications will have in the backend any kind of language model, mostly some kind of open sourced, because it's a trend among AI developers. They use open source solution, not ChatGPT mostly, because of due to different reasons actually, and this would be the consequences, because if you use some kind of the same level of language model, you have the same limitations. So this language model would be trained on the same content, trained on large brands, trained on with access on OTA aggregators. So probably you will miss a lot of very authentic local experience you can find through specific like Google or something like entertainment channels. Yeah, usually built on your recommendation engine. So actually the answer is this AI concierge would work perfectly if behind the AI concierge they would have a native recommendation engine similar TikTok has, Google has. Without that, you will have a very basic solution that I'm not sure would work perfect on your personal level. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. So you basically say GPT knows a little bit about us, for example, the basic data, but the real intent, like you said before, of how we behave on social media, because then you show social media companies what we like. We like these kind of videos, we like this kind of content, and they know better who we are than ChatGPT knows. Although social media doesn't maybe know our I don't know how many kids I have, but they know way more how I behave and what I like, and that intent, that's what, in your opinion, makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
That's a different trait.
Absolutely,
Nice.
absolutely. Taking a step back, like 15 minutes back in our chat, ChatGPT owns only around 20% of your like a human research data. All other data behind ChatGPT. That's why it's obviously limited for you, like a personalization tool.
Nice. Love that. Okay, cool. And then in regards to probably the last question, the podcast is called The Future of Hospitality. So you probably know what I'm going to ask. How do you look at the future of hospitality? So let's say 5 years from now, what do you think will be the new luxury or the new, I don't know, the future?
Yeah, I would love to say that everybody would be in digital, driven by robots, etc. But to be honest, I don't believe in that. Despite I have a lot of guys who develop some kind of specific solution for hospitality. For example, 2 days ago, I talked to the guy who developed the human robot, literally. And one of his thoughts to deliver this robot to hotels to make some kind of routine job in room service, etc., addressing the really huge problem. But in my honest opinion, this digitalization will work only on low-cost segment or some kind of high turnover segments of hotels, like motels, hostels, etc., where people paying for like basic service, but not the quality, not experience. All the industry, I believe, would be human first. No robots, the best service, no generic experience, only personalized experience. Then deeper we will move to era of robots, AI agents, digital, etc. The more expensive and more valuable would be real human touch, touch points and experience. That's why actually I believe in digital on the top funnel, like acquisition channels, sales channels, marketing, branding, acquisition. But bottom part of the funnel obviously should be human driven.
Human. Nice. Yeah, I love that explanation that you said on the top of the funnel, it's digital, 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 until we get to the moment now we have to experience something. And then we skip the digital and we go human to human. That's an amazing explanation. Loved it. So Sergey, we're kind of out of time. I really want to thank you for your time, for your energy, for your insights, and really appreciate it. And thanks again, man. Loved it.
Thank you for the invitation, Alon. Thanks for having me here. Hope it would be great. A great example in your collection of that podcast. Probably your audience will hear something new, and it would push them to try to create some new experience for their customers and their hospitality experience. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, Sergey.